Kevin Cooney back with Jeanette Trumpeter, and once again, just to bring you up to date, word out of Iowa Methodist Medical Center just the past few moments is that delivery is, well, if not imminent, already underway.
And we're told it'd be about 15-20-minute procedure. We just had a briefing from Iowa Methodist. Sharon Simmons, the Vice President of Communications there, telling us that the 40 specialists have been assembled, that the procedure has begun, and it was an elective decision made by the family and the McCoy's doctors last night to begin the procedure today. We will not get word on the actual results of the delivery until all babies have been delivered and stabilized, and we've been told that could take as long as an hour, even longer than that.
That's right. As Dr. Wallig pointed out, the important phrase there is stabilized. That may take some time, but we are also expecting another news conference in about 32 minutes from now over from Iowa Methodist Medical Center, so we'll be checking back with Steve Carlin and Cynthia Fodor on that. Now, as you can guess, taking a look back over the past few weeks, news of these impending deliveries has caused a lot of excitement in Carlisle after the people first heard about it on our noon news.
And News Channel 8 Steve Oswald first covered the story for us way back a long time ago. We will get to his report in a minute, but first we want to get to Carlisle Live today, and that's where we find our own Deirdre Fitzpatrick. Deirdre, what's the mood?
Oh, Jeanette and Kevin, it is, as we've been saying, it's like a bunch of expectant fathers. It's like something out of a movie where you see the guy sitting in the waiting room with the cigars, just waiting for something to happen. Carlisle, as you know, is a town of about 3,500 people, and as is true with most small towns, nothing gets by folks here. They're always quick to share something, and Dave Bruce, who runs the Texaco station here, you are one of those people that I think people like to share things with because you run the only full-service station within the town. So, what's been the mood of the town?
No, everybody was kind of surprised, you know, which is kind of a shocking thing. Everybody's glad it's not them.
It would be a lot of work. You know, a lot of people have been very amazed that this town kept this so hushed for a long time. You agree?
Oh yeah, but if you don't want it to get out, you don't tell anybody. You know, I'm sure the local church that the McCoys attend probably knew it long before other people, and they probably swore to silence.
You heard anything today? I noticed a Wright Chevrolet car pulled up here just a few minutes ago.
That's the woman that told me today that Ken hadn't gone to work, so I assumed it was time.
That was the sign people were waiting for.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave, very much. So the time has come, and we'll know hopefully here in the next couple of hours how everything has gone. There are so many people here just hoping for the best for this family.
A lot of fingers crossed down there in Carlisle.
A lot of fingers.
Thank you, Deirdre. As we mentioned, News Channel 8's Steve Oswald first covered the story for us about 3 weeks ago, paid a visit to Carlisle.
And needless to say, he found the community very excited about the news.
Most of the snow is gone in Carlisle. Now they're talking about something else at the floral shop, something much more important.
The babies are expected to come. So everybody's hoping for the best and wishing them well.
When they're born, it'll be probably one of the top things that's ever happened in Carlisle.
The father doesn't want his picture on television until after the births. Early on, doctors offered him an option: eliminate some of the babies and give the rest a better chance.
Just for the sake of Bobby, they were some suggestions, but we just, you know, it's like I say, just want to trust the Lord for that, so that's in his hands. So.
You didn't even have to think about it.
No.
Do you have names picked out?
Yes, I do. Kenneth Robert, Nathaniel James, Nathaniel Roy, I'm sorry, Brandon James, Joel Stephen, Kelsey Ann, Natalie Sue, and Alexis May.
So we think we got 4 boys and 3 girls?
Yep.
If Bobby would have any kind of statement to make, what do you think she'd want to tell everybody today?
Just she's doing well, and keep praying and not to worry, and that God's in control.
And there you go, the town and the father and everybody eagerly and anxiously awaiting the birth. Now, not only has everybody been eager to hear about what happens, but very much wanting to take a part in the support of the family and the babies. A few trust funds already set up, one at the Hartford Carlisle Savings Bank, and if you'd like to make a donation, you can do so by just sending a check to P.O. Box D in Carlisle, 50047.
We also, as we were speaking earlier on the phone with Lavina Owens, the florist down there in Carlisle, the unofficial town spokesperson, she was saying too that 1 o'clock a week from Saturday, not this Saturday, but a week from Saturday, they have tentatively planned a mass balloon release. We're not talking large balloons like next door over in Carlisle, or excuse me, in Indianola that they have every year, but in Carlisle they're talking about smaller balloons. They're talking about the idea, and this is still in the development stage, of maybe selling a balloon for $1 a piece, and the proceeds going to support the McCoy family.
Okay, and of course there's been people making donations of blood, gifts, although the family has said, let's wait till after the babies
Sure.
are born before we accept the gifts. But then there's another address you can send a check to if you're interested. That's the First Bank of Iowa in Carlisle, P.O. Box V.
Well, you know, the McCoy family has kept a big shroud of secrecy around this pregnancy. They are working hard to keep their privacy as the entire world has been looking on.
Bobby McCoy has only spoken once about what she's going through. That was through a written statement read at one of the earlier news conferences a few weeks ago. News Channel 8's Todd Magel was there, and he tells us what Mom had to say.
Any hour or any day now, they'll give birth to 7 babies in this Des Moines hospital.
Each fetus, according to the father, weighs at least 2 pounds.
Of course, there is quite a risk here because the babies are so premature.
Reporters are starting to outnumber patients at Iowa Methodist Medical Center. All eyes are on Bobby McCoy and her family, which is about to grow by 7. 4 boys and 3 girls just 28 weeks old.
I'm feeling fine and I'm in good spirits.
Bobby McCoy is speaking through a hospital spokesperson. The family and the hospital have kept the rare septuplet story a secret for months. Now the McCoys just want to be left alone and concentrate on this special and historic event.
Bobby was a little overwhelmed with the attention that occurred yesterday. They hadn't planned on it, but I think, as I understand it last night, she and her husband had kind of regrouped from that first experience and were feeling pretty comfortable. And she's actually in very good spirits and feeling quite well today.
Todd Magel's report for us, talking about all of the things going on in regards to the McCoy delivery and the secrecy and how everyone was reacting to it down there a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to call in Dr. Wallig one more time to ask more about the stabilization process and how it is going to, not only how is it going to be determined, but perhaps, and we should deal with this, is specific problems that you had mentioned and maybe some that you haven't mentioned. I had talked to some other doctors who had said that the circulatory system around the brain is something that's very, very tender at a premature delivery like this, and that they look very closely at the vessels in the brain.
Right, those lining vessels line the ventricles, or large fluid-filled spaces in the brain. Those vessels are used to nourish the developing nerve tissue. Babies who are born prematurely are still developing their nerve tissue. Sometimes either prior to birth, during the process of being born, or in the first few days after birth, there can be some bleeding at that spot, whether into the spaces in the brain or to the brain material itself. So they'll be monitoring those babies' brains with ultrasounds throughout the first week of life to look for any signs of bleeding.
Now, Dr. Wog, now clearly this is a first of its kind situation, but with the quintuplet burst that you've dealt with, is it typically that with the 5 babies, were they all the same weight, were they all in the same condition, or can we expect that there may be some variety within?
It would be very typical if some or at least 2 or 3 of the babies had some difficulty in their growing. Of course, we don't know what their birth weights are, but oftentimes with multiple pregnancies, because of size constraints, the babies are a little bit restricted in their growth, and sometimes they compete for uterine blood flow, and that's what delivers the nutrients and the oxygen that promotes growth.
One other quick question, and that has to do with, and a lot of people have brought this up, and so let me pose it to you, and that is, you mentioned that competing for blood flow and for nutrients inside the womb. Also, 7 umbilical cords in there. Are there dangers involved in merely just the compression of 7 infants inside that womb, dealing with umbilical cords, placentas, and the items that you mentioned?
That's always a concern, and that's one of the reasons these women are brought into the hospital prior to delivery, so they can be monitored very closely and the fetal well-being can be assessed.
All right, Dr. Terry Wallig from Mercy Hospital, who is very familiar with multiple births and is offering her insight to us today.
Right now we want to call in another well-known expert in a bit of a different field, and that is Dr. Donner Dewdney. Doctor, thanks for being with us today. We want to talk to you a little bit more about the psychological impacts of this delivery, perhaps on the entire family, perhaps on 2-year-old Michaela, mom and dad. Tell us your overview on that.
Well, how about the psychological impacts for the whole country and the world?
Okay,
you know, I mean,
sure. Take the broadest stroke here.
This is a pretty important event, and I think it's going to get a lot of attention. I think in the family perspective, of course, what's going to really count initially is how are the babies? Are they going to be? Are they all going to be okay? I think that's paramount. And if a baby is lost, then mother and dad have to deal with both that and keeping energized and attentive to the ones who are surviving. And of course, you already mentioned, I think, one of the forgotten members of this family, and that's going to be the older sibling. And can you imagine what it would be like to have 7 new brothers and sisters and be sort of stuck there? I think that one of the things they should immediately do is have something special for him, some kind of gift or something to make his day sort of special too, because that's going to be really hard to be a 2-year-old and deal with this.
Yeah, and when it comes to mom and dad, what should they perhaps try to do if you were going to give them any of your advice?
I don't know. Take lots of Thorazine. I think that clearly this is an important time for the family to take time to understand that this is not going to be all solved in one day. This is going to be a step-by-step basis, and I think the best approach right now is one day at a time. I hope there will be somebody available to help the family screen them from the media. No.
Well, no offense taken.
No offense to, yes, you
not
can be, and
intentionally,
I think that's going to be difficult, and it's so intrusive because the family is going to be trying to discover how they really feel about this event, and it's kind of hard to go on that journey when there's so much
under a
implosion.
magnifying
Everybody's
glass.
asking them, how are you feeling? And I'm sure they're wondering, they're not sure yet.
Right.
You know, they're still trying to figure out how they feel.
Which is perhaps why people have tried to respect their request for privacy. The hospital, the people wanting to give gifts. This may have been somebody's given them good advice early on in this
I think it's
in this
wonderful
process.
what how the community has sort of gathered around to protect their privacy, and I think that's a very important send-off to this family, and I think it's an important message.
I was going to ask you to comment on that,
Yeah.
the story that we've all been talking about here over the past couple of weeks, and that is that this whole town keeping this secret certainly gives you kind of a warm cocoon sort of feeling about
I think
the way
there's
this
nothing
community
like
feels.
Iowa. I think this is a wonderful state. I think we should be very proud.
Think it
of
could have
Iowa.
happened anywhere else?
I don't think it could have happened anywhere else.
Actually,
I think
in
it's
talking
it's just a
to-
wonderful thing.
To some of the network reporters who have been in town said the same thing. And in any other state, there's no way it would have been kept a secret this long.
I think that's true.
All right, what positive signs are we going to look for here in the first few days from the family, do you think, in terms of the way you would look at this?
Well, I think the absence of exhaustion. I mean, we're going to see a fatigued mother, and I'm sure a stressed father. I guess what I'll be looking for is that they're being energetic and some sense that, hey, we're up to this and we're going to handle this and we're just going to go one day at a time.
I think of one story, and that was when Jane Pauley was pregnant with twins, and she asked Dr. Art Ulin on the air one time on the Today Show for any advice, and he just said 2 words: get help. And I suppose it maybe be 14 words in this: get help, get help, get help, get help, all the way time.
Right.
All right, Dr. Donner-Duty, thank you very much.
Thank
We'll be
you.
calling upon you again also in the hours and days to come, I'm sure.
And we are eagerly and anxiously awaiting to hear how the delivery went. If it did in fact start as scheduled, as was hinted to us 15, 20, 30 minutes ago, we can almost assume that the delivery perhaps might be over at this point, and we're waiting for some sort of stabilization and any kind of news out of the hospital.
That, of course, would be an assumption. We did receive the word from the hospital that the team was assembled and that the delivery process, the folks were in the proper rooms over there at Iowa Methodist, and then the procedure as far as the babies being transferred once they are delivered over to Blank Children's Hospital. And for those of you who are not familiar, we should tell you, and maybe the Skycam can pull out a little bit, that Iowa Methodist Medical Center and it comprises an entire set of buildings over there. There's the Yonker Rehabilitation Center, there is Methodist Hospital, there is Blank Children's Hospital, and they don't necessarily have to, you might think separate buildings, but they're all interconnected, and taking the babies from the delivery area over to Blank Children's Hospital is going down a hallway and around a little bit to another building, but they're all attached, so it's not like this is going to be a big, long procedure or transportation project. And there's a good shot of the Methodist Medical Center there that is located, well, just northwest of the downtown area. Probably many folks are very familiar with it, having been there themselves.
And we, of course, have crews at Iowa Methodist waiting for word from the hospital. Crews in Carlisle, we've got you covered. We're going to take a break right now and be back with more coverage of this septuplet delivery.